Good afternoon, Global Power Tour. Come on. Well, as mentioned, I am Sheila Michelle Foy, and I am the owner, proud CEO of Precis Screening. It is my distinct pleasure to be in this room today. I first connected with Christy 2 years ago when I got into social selling through my business coach, Candace Holyfield Parker, six-figure spa chick. And Christy resonated with me because coming from corporate, she was the closest thing on social media for me that was like corporate. And so I never saw myself on this stage. This was my first $100,000 month. So super duper proud. So I just want to say thank you because I always believe in honoring the host of the house. Yeah, but I also start my speeches off with prayer. So for those of you who may not be faith-based, but if you'll just align your hearts, and it can be your quiet time, but I need God to come in and fill this space. So Father God, I just ask that you would come right now, God, and do what only you can do in this room. God, invade this space. Fill it up, God, with your love, with your power. We are all fearfully and wonderfully made in your image, God. You know the plans that you have for us to give us hope and a future and not to harm us, God. So let the words that come from my mouth, God, not be mine, but be yours. You know the need in this room, God, whether it be in the room or beyond the room, God. Bless every woman that is here. Bless her bloodline backwards and forward, God. Let her stand up and be the handmaiden, God, that you formed her to be when she was in her mother's womb. God, break every generational curse, God, and create nothing but generational health and wealth. And so I give this presentation to you, Lord. Thank you. Amen. Amen. Okay, so I'm going to talk to y'all about drug testing. And what do, y'all? Just do this? Keep going? Down. Okay. All right, here we go. I'm going to talk to you about drug testing and clinical lab, essentially transportation and medical. Do I have any entrepreneurs who are already in healthcare, transportation, in that space? Yes. Okay, awesome. How many of you have thought about getting into medical in some form of fashion or transportation? Okay, a couple of you. Awesome. Well, this afternoon, I'm going to talk to you about if you're in, how you can scale or add a new stream, and if you're not in, how you can get in. Is that all right with y'all? Y'all want to hear that conversation? Okay. So a little bit about, I keep going the wrong way. A little bit about me. So I will be very honest with y'all. Chrissy will tell you, I went back and forth about taking the stage. And I went back and forth for a few different reasons. The primary reason, honestly, was that Christy she's known for Black excellence. She's known for pretty things. And I said, well, when you talk to people, you have to tell your story, right? We all have to tell our story, right? Because that's how we connect. And I said, how am I going to come to such a beautiful room with all these beautiful, powerful, successful, accomplished women and tell an ugly story, right? And then I said, well, that ugly story is my beautiful truth. Because I wasn't supposed to be here. Born to a 14-year-old mother, a 16-year-old daddy, in a children's home. They birthed broken. And broken begets what? More broken, right? And so I did my best, right? I did my best to reclaim my life. So I fumbled and stumbled through high school. I was a teenage mom. I gave birth to my first son at 17 years old. Somehow I made it through college, eventually got my MBA in international business, went on to corporate, did all the things, felt that I was giving my kids, my 3 sons and my daughter, the life I never had, right? Well, I was for a minute. So 6 years ago, my son DJ was murdered. And it was drug and alcohol related. And I could blame it on being a single parent. I could blame it on being a teenage. And that's what I did for a while. I blamed myself and I blamed others. And then God gave me an assignment. He said, I want you to help people transform their lives and transform communities and transform families, because DJ was chasing money. He didn't have to chase money, but because of mindset. How many of y'all know that it's your mindset that has you here and not the money? He died with $102.50, 2 cigarette lighters, and a pack of Newports in his pocket when his mama made $100 an hour. Big disconnect between mindset, right? So when I teach people how to start drug testing centers and clinical labs, it's really to change the trajectory of your life and of people around you and community. The money is just a byproduct, right? I did the $1 million a year last year. I did the 100K in one WAP month. Okay, that's beautiful, but it's about the impact. And I believe the reason I did 100K month is because people are seeing the value in the mind and changing their lives, and not just by way of money. So DJ was a great kid. Look at him, he's handsome, ain't he? He was a great kid. But there was a disconnect between his purpose. He couldn't be the pro ball player, he couldn't be the rapper, and he just didn't understand his purpose. And so, do y'all know that if we are not connected to our purpose, we will not have passion, and we will not show forth any power. So I'm corporate. I had a corporate contract, went to get a drug screen. The place was probably as big as this stage. And I said, man, this looks so linear. Let me just have a seat, wait my turn, you know. And God impressed upon me to ask God, like, hey, I said, hey, how did you get started? Wife didn't want to help me, so I stumbled and fumbled and figured out how to start a drug testing center. My aunt's an RN, so I added on clinical lab. My undergrad and grad are in management, so obviously I know that I got to be looking at the industry to see what it's doing, right? And so for that reason, I began to see, oh, well, if I'm going to drug test, then I probably need to get with a nurse practitioner to offer physical so that we can do what we need to do for trucking companies, right? Oh, okay, well, if I go over here, we can do DNA collection, right? So I began to see all of the potential in the market. So as a non-medical person with business skills, drive and desire, I created Precis Screening. So Precis Screening is now 4 years old, and not only do we promote health in and out, we promote improved health in our communities, but we also help other entrepreneurs. So I've helped 2,000 and counting entrepreneurs, nurses, phlebotomists, trucking company owners, serial entrepreneurs, aspiring entrepreneurs start their drug testing centers and clinical labs, not just in brick and mortars, but mobily as well. So you don't necessarily need medical experience, okay? And how many of you know that we don't have to work in our business? I think a lot of times when we're talking about new businesses, we think that means we got to go pick the cotton. No, no. Our ancestors already did that. They paid that for us. Okay? All right. So what I want to take y'all through today is a really, really quick exercise because I listened to the queens that came before me. So, you know, Dr. Joseph talked about government contracts because drug testing and clinical lab is in everything we do. Guess what? There's government contracts for drug testing and clinical lab. Okay? Then we heard about travel. Well, guess what? All those pieces of travel you can get with event planners and the Coast Guard and all these different things, the people that drive the boats, they need drug tests and physicals and stuff sometimes too, depending on their role, right? Then we heard about multiple streams. So how many of you are looking for your next multiple stream of income? How many? Okay, Ari is gonna bring around a card. For everybody who is looking for a new stream of income, Ari's going to bring around a card that has a very special offer just for a Global Power Tour. You're going to start your next revenue stream for $300 today. And I do mean started. It is complete. You do not need a brick and mortar. You do not have to be the person that's working. So what you're going to do is you're going to scan that QR code. It's going to take you to the sales page, and you will check out there. After your booking, you'll also have a 30-minute discovery call with me where we'll map out the things that are specific to you. But that is only if you are checking out actually during this session, because that $300 offer is really a $1,597 course, and that 30-minute discovery call, thanks to Christy, is $250. So you have to check out right now during this. How many minutes? 1. Okay, then we heard Dr. Kiana talk about recession. Well, drug testing ain't going nowhere. Lab work ain't going nowhere. DNA testing ain't going nowhere, and that's really only the beginning. So I know somebody wants to know, hey, how do we get customers? Well, the reason why you're able to get started in this is because there's something called third-party administrators that will actually send business to you, so you earn while you learn. And I am giving you all a money-back guarantee as well. Any questions? Because I probably got the same 27 seconds Dr. Sheila had. I ain't even got that. Okay, then. So
25 now.
Okay. So real quick, any questions? All right, and so for those of you who are not ready to move forward because it just may not be in alignment with what you do, do me a favor and share the opportunity with somebody that you think can use it. Do that, will you? Thank you, ladies.
Wow.